Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys had a fabulous weekend. Let's talk about this Nolan Wells case for a little while. Let's get it over with.
In the morning when I'm driving, I really come alive when I listen to my RonyiQ. They are rare and they are few who can compare with RonyiQ. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for RonyiQ. They are rare and they are few who can compare with RonyiQ. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for RonyiQ. RonyiQ. It's time for RonyiQ. RonyiQ. It's time for RonyiQ. In the morning while I'm driving, I really come alive when it's time for RonyiQ. I listen to my Ronnie. I listen to my Ronnie. It's time for RonyiQ.
All right. I hope you guys had a fabulous weekend. Now, I follow this Nolan Wells case, and a lot of things that I follow about this Nolan Wells case is, quite frankly, disheartening. The professional journalists that follow this case get on my nerves a lot of times. We're going to go to, first of all, Nancy Grace, who follows this case, who is supposed to be a professional journalist, is a whole motherfucking carpetbagger who comes on this case. And first of all, she asks, "What about it, Benjamin Crump? How come you didn't let the scent dogs go on these boats, Benjamin Crump?" When she had the Cajun Navy come on and say that Benjamin Crump wouldn't allow scent dogs to go on boats that did not belong to any of Benjamin Crump's anyone that Benjamin Crump was representing. How could Benjamin Crump give the approval to have scent dogs go onto these white people boats? But Nancy Grace wanted to come out and act as if just because this United Cajun Navy said that Benjamin Crump didn't give the right for them to go on these white people's boat, that this was fault of this black attorney Benjamin Crump. And to go with this story that the United Cajun Navy was putting out, trying to bring fault on Benjamin Crump. So if you're not paying attention to the motive that Nancy Grace has, Nancy Grace also did something slick the other day with the narrative that race baiting Tatum put out. Now we have all been very clear that when Benjamin Crump sat down with the district attorney way back on July 15th, They were going to meet with Benjamin Crump. And after the meeting, Benjamin Crump said that they were going to sit down together and they were going to uh, go together and try to sit down together at a, I forget what college, some college in Mississippi, and this take out everything that they could uh, take away from Nolan Wales' phone, and they were going to do it, and hopefully they would also have the FBI. They were going to sit down together and go through Nolan Wales' phone. So then all of a sudden, you have these for-profit attorneys who have product placement in every interview that they do. What is this? These baseball caps and Brandon Tatum's uh, liquor. As Brandon Tatum is wearing these "I Love Jesus" baseball cap and his product placement of his whiskey in every shot that these crackpot attorneys are in. Now, all this product placement of liquor and "I Love Jesus" caps. Now, all of the sudden, you have these attorneys telling you that these parents are not participating. They have not turned over the phone. They are withholding evidence. This is who has come out. When all the way back on July 15th, we have understood that there was an agreement with the DA and Benjamin Crump. So, who are these people who came out and told you that the mother was not was withholding evidence from the DA? Did you hear the DA come out and tell you that? No, you heard of these motherfuckers who want you to believe that these black family members, that these people who have no reason to withhold evidence. Now, where's Nolan's throat? Why haven't the second autopsy been able to be completed? What we have heard is Benjamin Crump and the family's attorney come out and reiterate uh, once again, as it has been agreed in our meeting on July 15th, we are ready and willing to sit down with you at any appointed time to go over the details and go over this telephone with you at an appointed time and an approved setting and an appointed time and an approved manner to go over this phone. And we have not heard from you from that time, from July 15th until now. It doesn't matter what these crackpot selling bourbon on every appearance that they show up on. Trump attorneys have to say. What matters is the fact of these cases, and also we would also like to complete our independent autopsy, as you agreed that you will give us the body parts to be able to complete our autopsy, which you have not further given us the opportunity to do, which you said that you would give us the opportunity to do before you put this case before a grand jury, reminding them that they have not done that. So, I didn't hear those attorneys talking about that Nolan Wells' throat and contents of his stomach, or the remainder of his lungs or his brain has not been given to the independent medical examiner so that he can complete his autopsy. You haven't heard anything. Brandon Tatum said anything about that, or those shisties attorneys. Have they said anything about that? No, they haven't said a word about that. Have you heard Nancy Grace talk about where's the lungs? Have you heard her and Nancy Grace question anything about where's the throat? No. Have you heard Chris Cuomo while he's talking about he knows the reason of the for the death? Have you heard Chris Cuomo talk about the independent medical examiners determination of the cause of death, since Chris Cuomo wants to come out and say that he knows definitively what the cause of death was, since Chris Cuomo wants to tell you that he has some real information about the cause of death. Did Chris Cuomo tell you that whether that information came from the Mississippi state, or if it came from the independent medical examiner? Chris Cuomo, where did you get that information from? Since the state of Mississippi said that they were going to have that information sealed, Chris Cuomo. And Chris Cuomo, since you want to sit up and say that you have this information, are you ready to be deposed about where you got that information from, Chris Cuomo? Huh? How, Chris Cuomo? Where would you get that type of information from, Chris Cuomo? You trying to get that YouTube channel up so badly, Chris Cuomo, that you're going to sit out here and you know that the family haven't been given that information, but you want to sit up here and have Brandon Tatum out here and sit up here and talk about you have information that the family haven't been given, Chris Cuomo? But you don't know if your own brother been rubbing titties. But you want to pretend like you don't know if your own brother been rubbing titties of his employees while he was in office. You don't have no information about that. You can't figure out if Mario been rubbing pussy while he was in office. You can't figure that out. But you got the cause of death of Nolan Wells. Sweep around your own front door, bitch. Okay. So, let them talk long enough. Just let them talk long enough. Let them talk long enough. Now there is one a YouTuber. Now, no, she's a TikToker. Now they have been taking her accounts down. Now, she has really, really, really been following this case, and they have been taking her accounts down. And she has been putting her stuff back up. I don't know her name. I have been catching her stuff on different YouTube accounts, and I'm sure she will be collecting this reward money, because this girl is on top of it. She should definitely get a job as some type of an investigator, because you let these YT boys come out here and talk long enough, and they will implicate themselves. They will implicate their parents. You just go back and you just listen to them talk long enough. And one video that I found very, very interesting is Brian, the raccoon Tatum. The raccoon Tatum is also implicit in covering up for these white boys, these white men. He is also implicit in covering up for them. He knows that they are lying, and he is overtly helping them lie. So I want to show you a little tidbit of him overtly helping them lie. I want to show you a little tidbit of him saying that Ben Crump is making this all about race. I want to show you where Tatum is making this overtly about race when it comes to black people. I want you to see Officer Tatum making it overtly about race and trying to make it about a black violence, overtly about black violence. And when it gets to it being about black people and it being about black violence, all of a sudden it's about black violence, but they go no further and they cannot enunciate anything about violence. They want to signify it's about some black violence, but they cannot tell you anything violent that happens. They cannot tell you anything violent that happens. But when we're talking about a whole black boy who has lost their life, and it's a whole lot of signifying about black violence for it to pedal down to absolute no story of black violence. When we got a whole black boy who has lost his life. Okay, let's get into this, shall we? The links are in my description box. Where should we go first? Is this where I want to go first? Let me see. Let me see. I think I want to go here first. Let's go here. Story number 1. Let's go to story number 1. All these links are in my description box. This will be in my description box under Do you remember story number 1? Just let them talk long enough. I didn't say it. This is what they say. This is what they say out of their own mouths. Story number 1. Here we go. Let me make sure it's in the right spot.
Did you guys go through the phone or?
Of course not. I mean, well, none of us had a reason to go through Nolan's phone. I mean, there's multiple phones on the boat. Why would it be in the? And I know most of them, so I don't know why she's at his house. And he said, "All right,
let's go. Let's get to the beginning. Here we go."
You had when it comes to the family or somebody coming back to get the cell phone and keys. When did that occur, and what happened there?
What happened
or twist
with
your arm just to give it back?
Right.
Well, what happened with the cell phone?
What happened with the cell
put
phone?
it in his truck, like it's just normal." And
so what happened with the cell phone?
And my buddy,
the situation with the cell phone, potential deletion of messages, how the cell phone was retrieved. And I just want you to tell your side of this, because what we're getting from the media is that they literally had to, I don't know, coerce you guys into giving it back. You didn't know where it was at. You were hesitant to give the phone over, almost as they had to turn your wrist or twist your arm just to give it back.
Right.
Well, what happened with the cell phone thing? So let's go back to the first engagement you had when it comes to the family or somebody coming back to get the cell phone and keys. When did that occur, and what happened there?
Okay, well, that night.
What happened with the cell phone? What first engagement? Who had? You had. What first engagement? Who had? You had.
About 12:30, I went back to my buddy's house.
And you said the night of the 4th?
The night of the 4th, but it was about.
You're saying what night? The night of the 4th.
12:30, I would like to say. And so I went back to my buddy's.
At 12:30. Christine, you had already talked to Christine at the mother at around 11 something. So this is at 12:30. You've already talked to Christine.
House I stayed the night before, where we all met up, and stayed together the night before. And my buddy got a call from this guy, and the guy was like, "Oh, like what's going on with all this Nolan stuff?" Very aggravated. I mean, yeah, every right to be, but I mean, we were trying to calm him down and like.
My buddy got a call from this guy, very irate and everything. Irate and everything. These are these low IQ whites. He was very irate and everything. He had every right to be. He was very angry, irate, not irate and everything. And he had every right to be. But this was one of your buddies. So this was one of your white friends. Okay, let's continue.
He was just like, "Oh, like where y'all at?" My buddy said, we're at my buddy's house, and he said,
no names giving. My buddies was like, "We're at my buddy's house." See, protecting names. Now, this is Brandon Raccoon. Who is giving cover for all of these white boys. If everybody had watched my videos, you would have known what happened, as I gave a video where I let them protect all of these white men who were involved in this situation, as I want to play black people as being violent people, as I sit up here and pacify all of these white people who were involved in this. And my buddy and my buddy called, and I was at my buddy's house, and my buddy called, and he wanted to know where I was, and I told him I was at my buddy's house, and my buddy, do you see of the bullshit? Let's continue.
All right, and then he just hung up. And so about 30 minutes later, I'd like to say, all of a sudden the door just got open and slammed, and there was a girl who walked in, and like,
all of a sudden, 30 minutes later, the door just got slammed open.
Like probably about 8 or 9 guys behind her, and then another mom, which was Javon.
8 or 9 guys, a girl slammed open the door, 8 or 9 guys, and a mom, Javon, mom. Now, Javon is a mixed race. Javon is mixed race. Javon has a white father, which means his mother is black. Now, let's see who's going to race bait right now. Let's see who's going to race bait right now. Let's see why does race come into any of this conversation right now.
Mom and
who's Javon? I want to put that in perspective.
Why does this have to go into perspective? And who's going to put this into perspective?
Who is Javon?
Javon is one of Nolan's good friends. He's a friend of mine too, like great guy. And his mom and their family is, very close with, the Wells family. And I mean, so I don't know why she was there, like what was going on.
You don't know why she was there? After living through this experience, you still don't know why Javon's mother was there. You're telling the story after having this lived experience. You don't know why Javon's mother was there. Okay.
But I was very surprised by this. I was like, like you just basically like kick the door open and, bust up in the house with no knock or anything.
So is Javon black or white?
What does that make a difference? What difference does it make what color Javon is? So who is race baiting? Is it Benjamin Crump? When you already know that Javon is biracial. Who's race baiting? Would it be Benjamin Crump that is race baiting? Huh? Let's continue.
Javon's mixed. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I guess he's mixed.
Yeah.
So, but he's not white.
He's not white.
But he's not right. But he's not white. But let's be clear. He is not white. Yeah, he's like your children. So he would be like your children, Tatum. He would be just like your own children, Tatum. He is not white. Let's be real clear. So is Javon black or white? What does that have to do with anything? But it has to do with something with Tatum, because you need to have a way to distinguish that this is not a white person, so therefore he is not to be given any type of leeway or privilege that a white a person would be given in this situation. Let's continue.
White. Just white.
Yeah.
Or all white.
Like, like you just basically like kick the door open and, bust up in the house with no knock or anything.
So is Javon black or white?
Javon's mixed. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I guess he's mixed.
Yeah.
So, but he's not white.
He's not white.
Just white.
Yeah.
Or all white, I guess you might call it.
Yeah.
So then they come in the house. Do you know any of these people? And
I know some of the guys.
the mom, but do you know anybody else?
I've seen the mom before, and I know most of them. Most of the guys went to high school with me, and like I'm friends with some of the guys. I mean, I know some of them. So eventually, like things started to get heated, and I was just like a guy I was friends with in high school. He was like, "Man, come outside with me," and I was like, "All right." And I walked outside with him. He was like, "Man, I don't know why. Like they're panicking, and like this is just like I think Nolan's just."
Man, I was so you knew a guy. You went to high school with one of the guys. Things started to get heated. You still have not enunciated why these people are there. You knew a guy from high school. You went outside with them. Why are these people there? You still don't know nothing. Everything has got heated, and you still have not been able to enunciate your words. Why are these people there? You still are trying to act as if these people are there ramshacking your house, but you haven't said that they have ramshackled your house. But you still are trying to make it seem like something nefarious has gone on when you have not said anything nefarious has gone on. But you have not enunciated, excuse me. Why are these people there? You going ringing around the roses without simply saying why they came to your house in the first place. Because you're trying to make it seem like it is something that it is not. Because you cannot say that they did anything wrong. But you're not saying why they're there. And you go outside with one of them. You're not in fear because you haven't called the police. Not yet. So, why are they there, bitch?
On somebody's couch. He's been drinking all day. Like things started to get heated, and I was just like a guy I was friends with in high school. He was like, "Man, come outside with me," and I was like, "All right." And I walked outside with him. He was like, "Man, I don't know why. Like they're panicking, and like this is just." Like, I think Nolan's just on somebody's couch. He's been drinking all day. He's just messed up. And, this is nothing that we have to worry about. As much as, I sat there and I told him, I was like, I agree. I would think, he's on somebody's couch just.
Oh, so now you know that they are worried about Nolan. And you just think that he is on someone's couch. But you've already talked to his mother, Christine. And when these people come to the house, you have already talked to Christine. And you have already told Christine that you were going to call the Coast Guard, however. So you want us to believe that when these people come there, and you still have not told us why they came there, and you are talking about they were all upset. Well, if they are all upset and you know that they are upset about Nolan, and you have already told his mother, Christine, that you were going to call the Coast Guard, well, why are you all blase, talking about, oh, you think that he is just over at somebody's house and kick back on somebody's couch? Does that make sense? Okay, but let's continue. Let's continue. As the crackpot Arizona cop wants you to believe that this is plausible. Plausible. You, as the crackpot potbelly cop wants you to believe that any of this makes sense, and that there's something wrong with the mother.
I'd been drinking all day and just, drank too much and was super intoxicated. And, that's kind of what a lot of us thought, but they were kind of losing it and they were going crazy. And the mom that was with them demanded Nolan's phone because drank too much and was super intoxicated. And, that's kind of what a lot of us thought, but they were kind of losing it and they were going crazy. And the mom that was with them demanded Nolan's phone because Nolan's phone.
Oh, so now finally we got two. You do know why she was there. You went outside with one of the people who came there, and now finally we get the mom who was there. Javon's mom came to get the phone. So now you finally get around to the point why Javon's mom was there. Javon's mom came to get his phone. So they're tripping out, and they were acting crazy because they came to get the phone. This is why they were there. Now you're talking about they were acting crazy, they were acting weird, they were acting this, because this is the only reason why they came there in the first place. And the amount of time that they had to be there to get the phone, you're equating to them acting crazy. Well, if they were able to go there and get the phone, you would not have to see them be there any extended period of time that you're calling them acting crazy. Because if you had just presented the phone to them, there would not have been any extended period of time of that you're calling them acting crazy that you would have had to endure. But you want to pretend like they were acting crazy. There would not have been any crazy time for you to see. So why was there so much crazy, this crazy time that you speak of? Could it be that you took over 15 minutes to give them this phone? Oh, okay. Let's continue. Wait a minute. Let's go here. Hold on. Let's get another viewpoint. Let's get let's get another viewpoint of this same event. Shall we? Shall we? What they say? What they say about how many sides there are to a story? What is it they say? How many sides there are to a story? Let me find this right quick. Hmm. I think it is. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Oh, wow. I think it is right. Hmm. I think it's right here. No. Hold on 1 second. Hey, hold on. Let me let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Here, here we go. Here we go. Here we Here we go. But let's see what was possibly really going on. Shall we? Let's see what was really going on.
Erase it. This is what I'm hearing, y'all.
Everyone who's in my comments talking about the Snapchat location and the Life 360 location being different locations. The reason why I posted the video that I posted is because of this interview, which to Seema says that Javon and Jalen looked at the Snapchat and that's where Nolan's phone was pinging, and it was like a whole bunch of people in that area. So that's why they went to the house to get the phone. That's when we started tracking the phone. Well, for Christine, it said one place, but for them on Snapchat, it showed another place. So that's the place we went to. And it showed that everybody that was in the house, it was like a lot of people there. Like it was, I'm not familiar with all the kids. I only know like one there, but it showed that the phone was at what a lot of people were at. So that's how we knew where to go to. We went there. They were all there. They were sitting there, lights off, watching TV.
Did they immediately give you the phone? Because knowing that phone was there.
It took about 15. They did. They gave me the phone, but it took about 15 minutes to get the phone. Because I even asked, I'm like, did y'all have to walk back to Horn Island to get the phone? Or like, where's the phone? Because it took so long when they said it was in, when Wyatt told me it was in his truck, it took him so long to get the phone back to me.
Christine,
so when they brought the phone back.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Tashima. I want to hear that.
When they brought the phone, after I said something about it, he was like, well, she's going to get it. I was like, who's going to get it? He's like, the girl's going to get the phone.
See, they scared of her. They know she'll snap on their ass. I'm telling you. Them people are scared of our sisters, man. Because they...
Okay. So, let's get back to all of this. They were tripping out and all of this. We didn't know, and all of this stall tactics and all of this. But that's not even the best part of this video of them trying to act as if they didn't know Wyatt trying to play a victim to the mother of this he's not white person. That's not even the worst part of it. Let's continue his bullshit.
Nolan left the phone on the boat, and when we ran in, Nolan didn't ask for his phone, and his keys were not on the boat because his.
And when we ran in, Nolan didn't ask for his phone. What is he talking about? When we ran in, Nolan didn't ask for his phone. Well, Nolan didn't run in with you because Nolan didn't come back with you. What is he talking about? When we ran in, Nolan didn't ask for his phone. What does that mean? And why isn't he arrested talking about when we ran in, Nolan didn't ask for his phone? And these people are still running around free, running off at the mouth. And nobody's questioning anything that they are saying because he's the stepson of a judge. And none of this stuff that he's saying is making sense. But let's continue.
car was parked at my buddy's house
and look at the dear detective sitting there, has nothing, no questions of that. Nolan didn't ask for his phone because Nolan, according to you, never made it back from Horn Island. How would he ask for his phone back if he never made it back himself alive? But let's continue and act as if we didn't even hear that. Okay.
We had all slept, the night before the 4th. And so the keys were left at the house because Nolan's car was at my buddy's house where we stayed at. So of course he left his keys there. But his phone, he was drinking. He didn't have his phone in the water because no one did. And there was more than just Nolan's phone that wasn't on the boat with us.
So it was more than just Nolan's phone that was on the boat.
And you notice that Nolan, by his telling of the story, is the only person who was drinking. You notice how he reiterates that he was drinking and none of the other people were drinking.
Yeah, we obviously had all our phones, but on the boat, but those weren't the only people. Like Nolan wasn't the only person that left a phone on the boat. There was a lot of people that left phones on the boat, not that didn't ride out or in with us. So we there was a couple phones that we had that we didn't know who they belonged to, and my buddies got that figured out, but it wasn't just Nolan's phone that was on the boat that who wasn't there. There was a lot of phones.
So when they barged in, they started getting frantic. The mom asked for Nolan's phone.
Right.
Was there a struggle over it, or did you guys hand it over?
Just handed it over. We didn't think anything of it. Like, she asked for Nolan's phone. We knew they were close friends with, the Wells family, and my buddy went out to his truck and handed the phone over. No complications, no issue, nothing. But I told Miss Christine that we had his phone and he had left it in our possession on the boat.
Okay. When they barged in, I had already told Miss Christine that we had his phone. Did you really already tell Miss Christine you had the phone? Now, we heard the mother say that they were the ones who had to find that the phone was on the deck, that the phone was on land, and that it was moving around on land. Now, all of a sudden, you were the one who told Miss Christine. And we're going to get to that part as well.
When did you? Miss Christine is Nola's mom.
Correct.
When did you talk to her about that?
When I was on. No, I didn't talk to her once. Like it was like 12:30. I might have texted her a couple times and like.
Did you or did you? You just said you already told Miss Christine that you had his phone. When did you do that? Now you can't even tell us when. When?
Talked briefly about a couple things.
When?
Went out to his truck and handed the phone over. No complications, no issue, nothing. But I told Miss Christine that we had his phone and he had left it in our possession on the boat.
When did you? Miss Christine is Nola's mom.
Correct.
When did you talk to her about that?
When I was on. No, I didn't talk to her once. Like it was like 12:30. I might have texted her a couple times and like talked briefly about a couple things, but I never. I told her on the phone before I called the Coast Guard that we had Nolan's phone. Before I called Miss Christine, I asked, I was like, oh, well, where's his location at? Because Nolan has his Snapchat location on for me. And he said, it's Wyatt said it's, in my truck. Like, because everybody who left stuff on the boat, it was Wyatt's boat. So Wyatt put it in his truck, like.
You asked Christine where was his Snapchat location, and Wyatt was the one who told you where his Snapchat location was because he has it on for you. Is that what you just said? So Wyatt was the one who gave you his Snapchat location, even though you asked his mother. Okay. Let's go revisit that again.
And just storm chat location on for me. That we had Nolan's phone. Before I called Miss Christine, I asked, I was like, oh, well, where's his location at? Because Nolan has his Snapchat location on for me. And he said, you know, it's Wyatt said it's, you know, in my truck. Like, because everybody who left stuff on the boat, it was Wyatt's boat. So Wyatt put it in his truck, you know, like it's normal. And so the phone was in possession in Wyatt's truck. And when that mom came over and asked for it, there was no issue at all with us giving the phone to her. I mean, Nolan just left it on the boat. We handed the phone to her that night of the 4th of July.
And did you guys go through the phone or? Of
course not. I mean, none of us had a reason to go through Nolan's phone. I mean, there's multiple phones on the boat. Why would it be? And the boat was having issues. Why would our concern be getting on Nolan's phone or something? I mean, I don't even know Nolan's password. None of my friends do. We had no reason ever to get on Nolan's phone and look at anything. I didn't even touch Nolan's phone. None of us touched Nolan's phone until somebody took it off the boat and put it in Wyatt's truck, and then no one touched it until we handed it back, you know, to the mom that was at my buddy's house.
Was that the only phone that she picked up, or was it other people's phone that they came and got? Or
that I know of, I think that was the only one that she had. You know, but I'm not completely sure. I think that's the only one that she took Nolan's. That's it.
And so we're on the 4th, where the night, probably going into the morning of the 5th, this happens. Then the dad comes back at some point to get the keys. Right. What happened there? When was this and what happened?
Well, my buddy Brooks drove me and dropped me off at my house. And I woke up to a text the next morning that Miss Christina texted me, and she said, hey, Nolan's dad's there, is there at my buddy's house to pick up the keys. And, you know, I didn't think anything of it. I told her that I was praying for her, and, you know, that we were out there and we were, you know, doing everything that we could to help out.
And when he came to pick the keys up, was there a confrontation? Because I could have sworn I saw on the news that when he came to pick the keys up, it was almost like an altercation because you guys didn't want to get the keys over, or you didn't know where the keys were at?
I mean, no, absolutely not. I mean, I wasn't there.
So you could have sworn that there was almost a confrontation when no one said that there was almost a confrontation. This link is going to be in my description box under just listen to the lies. First lie. How about that? First lie. Here you go. It is in the description under the first lie. They're telling it. I'm not telling it. They're telling it out of their own mouth. Let me make sure I got it. Yeah. Now, let's move on to his second telling about the phone. This is his story. This isn't my story. This is his story. Now, interviewing with the same raccoon. I guess I'll have to put this under the second lie. It'll be in my description box under the second lie. How about that? Because I want you to be able to pull it up whenever you need to avail yourself to it. Where is it? Let me hold on 1 second. Let me avail myself to it. Hold on. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Let me save this for you, and let's hear. We just heard that whole bullshit story. Now, does it sound like the same story that you're going to hear? I went outside with friends to talk about it, and let's see how it even starts. Let's see how the raccoon is going to start the story. The raccoon is even in on the lie. The raccoon is going to start the changing of the story. It's going to break in the lie. Hmm. Let's let's get into it, shall we? You know, the raccoon got to pay what he weighs. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. Where is the raccoon? The raccoon got to do what the raccoon uh, is paid to do.
And so there was a conversation that we had, Warren, last time about you not going or ever being at his house, and people took that as if you weren't his friend. Can you guys describe what engagement
that? But like I'm saying, I'm talking about like from a young age, like from 8th grade. But
based on what I know from the interview we had and some of the things that Nolan has spent the night and then
alone 3 times with Nolan. Year for the 4th of July.
Let's get to this.
Was with.
I think it's right here. Here we go.
Clear. We literally all went up.
Here we go.
So.
Here we go.
Like this is just like a.
Here we go.
With us all the time.
Pointed questions about the phone situation, because I think last time, Warren, when you and I talked or spoke, you weren't at the house when the phone was recovered.
Bitch, what? Warren, I think the last time we spoke, you weren't at the house when the phone was recovered. Did y'all know that that whole story changed? Did you know that the whole story changed from the first telling of, yeah, I was there and they came and they burst in and I said I went outside and I knew one of the guys and we had a conversation and Javon mom came in and they wanted the phone and we gave them the phone immediately, and then this raccoon sat up and I think that we spoke in the last time that we spoke, you said that you weren't there when the phone was recovered. Did you know that they changed this bullshit into a whole motherfucking lie, that Warren wasn't there when the phone was recovered? Did you know that?
Because I think last time, Warren, when you and I talked or spoke, you weren't at the house when the phone was recovered. And
nobody's arrested. And this raccoon is sitting up lying for these liars. And no one's arrested. No one's arrested. And they're lying in your face with the help of this raccoon.
I want to figure this out. Explain to me, because a lot of people are still online saying that they find it to be incredibly suspicious that Nolan left his phone. Can you explain, did Nolan ask you for his phone back when you guys were leaving? Was it not a part of the conversation? Was Nolan the only person that left his phone on the boat? Can you guys walk me through that idea?
So I can go ahead first and say nobody has their phone in the water. Even when you jump in a pool, do you have your phone? Like, no, you don't. You're not going to bring your electronic in the water. So what everybody does is they stick their phones on the dash of the boat and they forget about it because you don't have good service. You can't even send a picture through from Horn Island to like somebody else. And so they put it on the phone. And even as teenagers, we don't really get on them. We go out there and we conversate.
Yeah, later on in this, you will hear how many pictures that they were taking. You will hear Wyatt talk about how many times he was calling his own mother from the island. But all of a sudden, when it comes to Nolan not having his phone, it's because Nolan, why it would be useless for him to try to take pictures, to try to communicate. It would be useless. No one has their phone on the island. When it comes to Nolan having his phone to try to do any picture taking, Snapchatting, anything, it would be useless. Only in the case of Nolan having his phone.
We see a bunch of people that we usually don't see on a day-to-day basis, that we graduated high school with, guys that graduated.
You will see people that you graduated with that you don't see on a day-to-day basis. Isn't that why you would want to have your camera ready to take pictures with people you haven't seen in several years you graduated with? Isn't that the main reason why you would want to have your camera with you? Wouldn't that be a reason why you would want to have your phone with you to catch up and get the phone numbers of people that you may have lost contact with to get their new phone numbers? Is he stupid, or do he think y'all stupid? I think he think y'all stupid. Let's continue.
Before us, it's a big meeting, like seeing all your friends that you haven't seen in a while,
and therefore you don't need your phone. Okay.
And so whenever we were coming back in, he didn't even think about grabbing his phone. He never asked about his phone, along with 5 other people that also left their phones on the boat, and we had to wait at the boat launch for them to come and pick them up, including Javon. I mean, Javon left his phone on our boat.
Yeah, Javon is one of the guys in the friend group.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Javon's a friend of mine, friend of ours, like not as tight as Nolan. Javon's in the class under me in school, and he's a friend of mine. But just like a lot of our other friends, Javon's our friend. He left the phone on the boat because we're trustworthy people. We're not going to steal something. We're not going to delete pictures off of someone's phone. We're not going to delete text messages. We're not going to get on anyone's phone because we have no reason to. But Javon left his phone, and we gave Javon his phone back along with everything.
Okay, so see, why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about trustworthy people? Why are we talking about all of this? The question was how we always do things with these liars. The question was Wyatt, Warren, you weren't even at the house when these people came to pick up the phone. You notice how we are talking about everything but that? You notice how this is how it always happened with these liars? You notice how they always wander off, do everything but what they have been asked? Let's continue.
Everybody else who left their phone on the boat. So
yeah, we'll get to that because I think I have the timeline in my mind. So you guys, the boat is taking in water. You had already.
Now we're back at the boat is taking in water, but that wasn't the question. You all of a sudden were not at the home when they came. Javon's mother's came to pick up the phone. All of a sudden, that's where we are, where you don't want to be. Because it's going to take all 3 or 4 of them to pass on parts of the story. They're going to piecemeal this story together. One of them going to say 3 or 4 sentences, and then they're going to pass the buck. They're going to play tag with the telling of this story. Watch this.
Left, Morgan, right? You had already left on a boat. So there's 3 boats. You had already left about 5 minutes before this situation happened. The last 2 boats was Bart's boat and Wyatt's boat, and those are the 2 boats that left out because Bart was kind of towing Wyatt's boat out. So you guys are on the boat. What was the conversation with Nolan? Because Nolan obviously had come in on Wyatt's boat. You guys are all getting ready to leave. So what was the communication like with Nolan?
So actually, Wyatt was saying told Nolan, because Nolan's with this girl at this point. They're together. Wyatt looked at Nolan. He was like, "Dude, come on, boat's taking on water. We got to go, like right now." And Nolan didn't want to go. He said he wanted to stay with the girl. And Wyatt started yelling at him. He's like, "Nolan, get on the boat now." And Nolan was like, "No." And then finally, Wyatt's like, "Nolan, get on the effing boat right now. We are leaving right now." And Nolan said he had another ride back, and we had no more time to waste. We got to get the boat out of there before it goes under.
And it was that, and when Nolan said that, like, was there an issue that you believe that Nolan will be able to get back, or were you concerned?
So what I can say is, I've been out countless times on one boat to Horn Island and came back on another. I've done it before where I went out on one boat and my friends left, and I just know so many people out there. I didn't even think about, do I have a ride already set up? I just know so many people out there that I'm like, okay, there's 100% sure I can find a ride back, and which I have before, you know? And it's one of those things where it's at Horn Island, you don't even have to know somebody to ask for a ride back in. They're going to bring you in. You know, it's not like, oh.
You notice where we are not on the answering of the question of you weren't there. We have not gotten to, you weren't there when the keys, nothing of that. We're waiting.
Are they going to bring me in, or they not? Should I ask? No. If you ask anybody out there, 100%, they'll bring you back.
Southern hospitality.
Yeah, the boating,
South Mississippi.
I mean, we had somebody.
The boating community is so like tight knit. Like it doesn't matter like who you are. If someone sees you.
Based on what I know from the interview we had and some of the things that Nolan has spent the night, and then I want to get to some pointed questions about the phone situation, because I think last time, Warren, when you and I talked,
I really need to make sure I didn't overskip this, because I can't believe we've gone this far and we haven't answered this
or spoke. You weren't at the house when the phone was recovered. So I want to figure this out. Explain to me, because a lot of people are still online saying that they find it to be incredibly suspicious that Nolan left his phone. Can you explain, did Nolan ask you for his phone back when you guys were leaving? Was it not a part of the conversation? Was Nolan the only person that left his phone on the boat? Can you guys walk me through that idea?
So I can go ahead first and say, nobody has their phone in the water. Even when you jump in a pool, do you have your phone? Like, no, you don't. You're not going to bring your electronic in the water. So what everybody does is they stick their phones on the dash of the boat and they forget about it because you don't have good service. You can't even send a picture through from Horn Island to like somebody else. And so they put it on the phone. And even as teenagers, we don't really get on them. We go out there and we conversate and we see a bunch of people that we usually don't see on a day-to-day basis that we graduated high school with, guys that graduated before us. You know, it's a big meeting, like seeing all your friends that you haven't seen in a while. And so whenever we were coming back in, he didn't even think about grabbing his phone. He never asked about his phone, along with 5 other people that also left their phones on the boat. And we had to wait at the boat launch for them to come and pick them up, including Javon. I mean, Javon left his phone on our boat.
Okay. They never got to it. Let's see if we're going to get to it.
100% sure I can find a ride back, and which I have before, you know? And it's one of those things where it's at Horn Island, you don't even have to know somebody to ask for a ride back in. They're going to bring you in. You know, it's not like, oh, are they going to bring me in or they not? Should I ask? No. If you ask anybody out there, 100%, they'll bring you back.
Well, how come Nolan didn't get back in?
Southern hospitality.
Yeah, the
South Mississippi.
I mean, we had somebody.
Yeah, but Southern hospitality for Black people is something different, as we have discovered on the 4th of July, 2026 for Nolan Wells. Get the fuck out of our face.
The boating community is so like tight knit. Like it doesn't matter like who you are. If someone sees you struggling on
lynching ropes are tight knit as well.
On the island, no matter the case, they will come and help you. They will do anything in their power to help you and bring you back to the mainland.
I'll put another example out there. We know another kid.
Oh, and what you may not realize this that this Sag Harbor shirt also says this Sag Harbor the line item above the Sag Harbor. You know what it also says? Stay salty. This person who is talking about how dare it was so egregious that Christine would put out pictures of him in looking for her son and putting out his picture adjacent to her son being missing and bringing attention to him and all across the country. It was egregious. He had decided to wear a shirt that says stay salty, Sag Harbor. It seems like he is the one who is salty. It's saying that she did something egregious by actually putting out the picture that he was in, because in fact he was the last person her son was seen with. This person who was the last person her son was seen with, who put out the wrong colors of trunks that her son was seen wearing, who said that he was wearing black swim trunks when he was his best friend who couldn't get the color of swim trunks he were wearing to make it more difficult to identify the person by giving the wrong color swim trunks. It seems like he is the one who is salty.
He was pretty intoxicated out there, and he couldn't find his boat. And he asked somebody random that he didn't even know if he could catch a ride back with them. And they were like, yeah, got him on the boat, called his parents, told them the situation was going on, and then took him back on inshore.
And that happened this time, or is
4th of July?
This current 4th.
So you guys you leave. Nolan is there. I'm based on what you're telling me, I'm perceiving that you guys are.
They haven't gotten to this long nosed motherfucker not being at the house yet.
Accepting that Nolan's going to get a ride back somewhere else. Y'all taking on water. Explain to the audience, what does this sinking boat thing like? Because I think that people are in good faith, the ones who are acting.
I'm going past this. I don't want to hear all this bullshit. The link is in
all the way to the very top of the.
The link is in the description box. I really just want to get to the lie where he's trying to say that he wasn't there when they came to pick up the phone. I didn't realize that it was going to take this long for him to lie about the phone.
You mean like it has to be going fast enough to be?
We're talking about the boats and all of this bullshit again.
Who was on the boat during that Cito call?
Okay, that's
whole day.
And his mom asked for that to post on Facebook to say if you've seen him, whatever.
I just said black because I was trying to.
It's really gonna have to save them to your camera roll and upload them back whenever you get in.
Would it shock you? Because Christine Wells, Nolan's mother, is online. She was very shocked that she said Nolan didn't have any Snapchats or something. I'm assuming that whole day. Is that shocking to you if he did or did not have photos or videos or stuff uploaded to social?
Not at all.
Now, see, he is always trying to degrade Nolan's mother. Would it shock you? Not at all. Why?
Not at all.
Because
I mean,
like we said, we've been out there many times before, and nobody's on their phone out there. Yeah. First off, and then second.
And you're gonna hear how many times that they are on their phones. We have seen all of the camera footage of all of these white people who are all on their phone out there. But this asshole wants you to believe that no one's on their phone. So it's ridiculous for us to believe that someone would be on their phone, that Nolan would actually be on their phone. So it would be foolish for us to believe that Nolan would have anything on his phone. How foolish does he sound?
If you want to take Snapchats and stuff like that, you can, but you're just really going to have to save them to your camera roll and upload.
So therefore, why isn't there anything saved to Nolan's camera roll? If you would have to save them to your camera roll, wouldn't Nolan know that? Oh, you think you're smarter than Nolan, and Nolan wouldn't know that?
Them back whenever you get insured, because when you go to send it, it's just going to have an error.
And most guys, when they're out on the island all day, they're really not thinking about posting something on their Snapchat story.
So the phone was taken on like a camera that's not a phone. Yeah. Now, how did that get to you guys, and how did that ended up getting to the internet?
So whenever we first realized that Nolan didn't, I'm not gonna say he didn't. When we first realized we don't know where Nolan's at, the first thing we were trying to figure out, or his mom, was what was he wearing. And so we were trying to remember what color his shorts were. We couldn't quite figure that out.
I said black.
Yeah, I think we said black.
I really did. He was wearing navy blue shorts.
Yeah, it was like dark blue shorts.
Dark. I just said black because I was trying to piece everything together and help out.
And so at this point, we're freaking out. We don't know where our friend's at. And the girl that took the picture, she was like, okay, well, I just took this picture of today. This is what color swim trunks he was wearing. And his mom asked for that to post on Facebook to say, if you've seen him.
Oh, but she was able to take a picture and say, I just took a picture. But no one's thinking about taking a picture. And but obviously someone was easily able to take a picture. The thing that no one was able to do on the island. But miraculously, she was easily able to do this. You see how these buffoons make zero sense?
Whatever, this is what he was wearing. And so that's what we sent to her, or that's what she sent to her, because we were just trying to help. You know, we weren't trying to cover up anything. We wanted to know where our friend was just as bad as everybody else does. I mean, that was our boy. We want to know worse than everybody else does.
You don't want to know worse than what the mother did, because you gave her the wrong color of shorts.
So that's how that picture came about. And
I want to get to the phone situation of...
Now we're finally going to get to the phone situation. Now, when did the question come up? The question came up at 9 minutes, and now we're going to get to the phone situation at 38 minutes. Is it at 38 minutes, or is it further?
And when did you guys communicate with law enforcement? Because the internet...
Taking it out. I mean, I was right there.
So you guys go the next morning, you look for Nolan.
Let me see.
And one of the people there came up and started banging on the door again.
No. Here we go.
I'm curious about, like, you
jumping to conclusion.
I guess so. I mean,
that's plain and simple.
Let me see.
Yeah. Okay. So they just kind of hang around my house.
Okay. Let's get to the phone. Nolan's phone.
Like, where y'all?
I told them, I said, we're at Jax's house.
Came and picked it up, but instead...
Okay.
And if Morgan has something to say, but... about.
And I want to get to the phone situation of...
We started at 9 minutes. Now it took us to we had to get to 27 minutes to we finally going to get to the phone. Now we heard we heard Wyatt say all of the sitting down and who was there and what they were there for, and now all of a sudden, not Wyatt, whatever Big Nose is, he now all of a sudden he wasn't there.
Miss Christine or Miss Wells said online, and I've seen it on the news and everything, as if she had to come and hunt you down to get this phone. Now I know.
No, we didn't hear Miss Christine say anything. See, now this is the other lie. We never heard Christine say she had to go anywhere. What we heard Christine say is that she sent Javion's mother to go pick up the phone. Now see, this raccoon is sitting up here lying on Christine Wells, and this is defamation. We never heard her say that she left to pick up the phone, not one time. And I hope she sues him for lying on her. He's a fucking asshole and a liar.
Christine or Miss.
That was our boy. We want to know where it came about.
And I want to get to the phone situation of Miss Christine or Miss Wells said online, and I've seen.
And her name is not Miss Wells. Her name is Miss Walsey. You disrespectful piece of trash.
It on the news and everything, as if she had to come and hunt you down to get this phone. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house, and so.
Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. Did we not just see that whole interview where he said that he was at the house? Now he's giving this liar cover and lying for this liar. Did we not see this whole previous interview where he said he was at the house when Javon's mom came, and they said that they were there for the phone, and they tried to act as if they were there acting all crazy, but they couldn't enunciate anything that they did that was crazy other than say ask for the phone? Were we not all there to hear him say that he was there for this? Okay.
You weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. So how did
right
this happen? Because last time we talked, you said you told, and I will call her Miss Christine, you told Christine that you had Nolan's phone. Like, can you explain that to me? Because I'm confused. I don't know what's what. Did you tell her you had the phone? And when did you tell her you had the phone if you did?
Okay. So first we'll start off with, what I have to say, and then Jax, but
okay, so let's piece this story together. We'll start off here, and I'm gonna tag you in, and I'm gonna tag you in. Let's play tag with this lie.
And if Morgan has something to say, but I want to get this straight. One of the first things I told Miss Christine Wells in the first phone call that ever occurred with anything to do with Nolan Wells being gone, because I was the first person to call Miss Christine about anything. First phone call and anything to do with Nolan Wells was me making a phone call to Christine Wells. And one of the first things I said to her, with multiple witnesses here, pull up the phone call if you want. She said, oh, well, Nolan's location is with y'all at, where the house we were at. And I was like, well, no, he left his.
So what we gather from this is she was the one who told him that his location is pinging with you. He didn't tell her that I have his phone. She told him that I see that his location is on land with you. He didn't tell her nothing. She told him that I see that his phone is on land with you. Are we clear?
This is here. Pull up the phone call if you want. She said, oh, well, Nolan's location is with y'all at, where the house we were at. And I was like,
Well, no, he left his phone with us. I told her this. She knew for a fact that we had his phone, and she knew.
Yeah, she did know for a fact. She told you for a fact that she saw that his phone was on land with you. So what's your point? What is your point? You trying to make it seem like you told her something. No, she told you what she already knew. Bitch.
That I told her, I said, yeah, he left it on the boat with us. Like, you know, a bunch of people did. And so I want to make that very clear that I told Miss Christine there was no reason to hide anything. There was no issue regarding the cell phone. She could have came and picked it up, but instead she sent one of her friends to come pick it up. And that's where these things start to get twisted. But no, there was never an issue with the phone.
Ain't nothing twisted. Ain't nothing twisted. Because she did not let you twist it. We real clear on that.
I told Miss Christine, one of the first things I told her was, you know, we have Nolan's phone, and you know that's where that ends. There was no issues with the phone or the keys, so I wanted to make that clear.
So was the keys on the boat with the phone?
No, the keys were
You're at my house.
Ain't nobody nobody thought that the keys were on on the motherfucking boat. Everybody knew the keys were on the motherfucking PlayStation at the motherfucking house. Brandon Tatum. Ain't nobody confused about where the keys were. Everybody were fully aware that the keys were at somebody's house on top of the PlayStation, bitch. Ain't nobody confused about where them motherfucking keys were, motherfucker. The fuck you talking about?
Jax's house, because we all stayed there the night before. I'm sure if I would have left my truck at Jax's house, I would have left my keys there too. Because
it's just one more thing to think about on the boat.
If I don't have my car or my truck, then why would I bring my keys on the boat? You know. So I mean, there's just no point of bringing it, because if I lose them, then just more stuff to bring that on.
Yeah.
Very excited.
So I want you guys to explain this phone thing. I think Warren already addressed the fact that he told Christine that he had the phone in his possession. So, you know, the whole Life 360 thing is not adding up as far as what you're saying to me.
Why isn't the Life 360 thing not adding up? What the fuck you mean the Life 360 thing is not adding up? What doesn't make the Life 360 thing not add up? When he just told you that she told him that the Life 360 thing shows that the phone is in his possession. Now you are trying to say that suddenly the Life 360 thing is not adding up when he told you himself that she told him that that Nolan's phone was pinging at his location. Because you're trying to denigrate this mother and the facts that he can't even deny himself. You stupid black raccoon.
Compared to what they're saying. Now, how so you know, the whole Life 360 thing is not adding up as far as what you're saying to me compared to what they're saying. Now, how...
He is such trash. This man is absolute trash compared to what they're saying. How? For example, be specific. You're trash. Absolute trash.
Did whoever came and get the phone,
knowing that this man has sat up there and said that he was actually there when Javon's mother came to pick up Nolan's phone, talked about going outside, speaking to one of the people, and talked about how they thought that Nolan was just sitting up on someone's couch and he had too much to drink and he was probably sitting up on someone's couch and they just came to pick up the phone. You're trash, Tatum. And I hope you are sued within an inch of your life for defaming this family and telling these lies unabated. Lies. You're a liar. You're trash.
How did they get in touch with you guys, and how did they get the phone back?
So I got a call from a kid we went to high school with. He called me just asking me questions. He saw people posting on Snapchat, like the picture that was circulating. And he called and he was asking questions. He was like, "Where's Nolan? When's the last time y'all seen him?" And then he was like, "So where are y'all at?" And I told him, I said, "We're at Jax's house." And then Warren got on the phone, and I don't know.
So they
see, but the thing about this is, the thing about all of this motherfucker just told you. I got a call from a kid, and he was asking me about the picture that was circulating. See, this wasn't the 4th of July. This wasn't late at night, early in the morning of the 4th of July, or early in the morning of July 5th. This was way in the morning of July 5th. This was one of these pictures that was circulating when it was well known that Nolan was missing. One of those pictures that had to be circulated after Nolan Wells was missing, the day after. See, so how come these one of these pictures that could not have been uploaded on the island that had they had to wait to upload the next day? So, how is it how is it that this friend is asking you the night that Nolan has gone missing about some alleged picture that wasn't uploaded until the next day, sir? You're saying that this man was asking you the night before the picture was even uploaded, you lying bitch. How do I know? Let's get into it. How do I know? Let's get into the facts. See, because these motherfuckers are sitting here and telling you a whole bunch of bullshit. These motherfuckers are sitting up here and telling you that this man called him about a picture being circulated, and the picture had not even come out. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, shall we? Come on. Let's get into it. Hold on. Let me find this. Hold on 1 second. Let me, let me get into it. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Let's we're gonna make all of these lies make sense. We're gonna make all of these lies make sense. Hmm. Let's make all of these lies make sense. Let me share my screen with you. This lady should surely get this investigative money. Let me play this for you.
Called the Coast Guard until after all these people story and said, oh wait, actually we did. And it seems to me that that first call was most likely an off. He explains why the Coast Guard came out and said at first that they had not received a call from the kids that night. The Coast Guard's initial statement said they weren't informed until 12:30. Then the Coast Guard later changed their story and said, oh wait, actually we did. And it seems to me that that first call was most likely an off the record to a friend kind of deal, which means these people freaked out and didn't call the Coast Guard until after all these people showed up at Jax's house. Which would explain why in the course.
Hold on, I'm gonna take you a little further back. This girl is good.
Question is, who decided what we were allowed to know about it?
Oh, these little liars. I told y'all that Jax was the ringleader. I told y'all. He sat in this interview and he was telling stories about shit that he wasn't even there to witness. So let's break down some of the stuff that I heard in this interview. Let's start with Warren's first phone call, because y'all will remember that Warren said that he was over at Ava's house for that 4th of July party when they all started realizing that Nolan was missing, and he called Miss Christine at 11 o'clock.
One of the first things I told Miss Christine Wells in the first phone call that ever occurred with anything to do with Nolan Wells being gone, because I was the first person to call Miss Christine about anything. First phone call, anything to do with Nolan Wells, was me making a phone call to Christine Wells. And one of the first things I said to her, with multiple witnesses here, pull up the phone call if you want. She said, oh, well, Nolan's location is with y'all at, where the house we were at. And I was like, well, no, he left his phone with us. I told her this.
And yesterday, the same time that this interview came out, Christine Wells said this.
360 says that he's on land, and he was like, well, no, I mean, when we have his phone.
So both versions of the story say that Warren didn't tell her about the phone until after she confronted him with the 360. Now, Warren tells Miss Christine that he knows somebody in the Coast Guard and that he's going to call them, which is very fucking different than calling the Coast Guard, which absolutely explains why the Coast Guard came out and said at first that they had not received a call from the kids that night. The Coast Guard's initial statement said they weren't informed until 12:30. Then the Coast Guard later changed their story and said, oh wait, actually we did. And it seems to me that that first call was most likely an off the record to a friend kind of deal, which means these people freaked out and didn't call the Coast Guard until after all these people showed up at Jax's house. Which would explain why in the course of this interview, it went from Warren called the Coast Guard to we did. Now, when the subject turns to how the family got the phone back from these boys, you'll notice that there was a couple.
All these people, as in all of these people who came to pick up Nolan's telephone. All these people.
Slip-ups.
Warren, you weren't at the house, and so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. So
now remember, Warren just said that he wasn't at the house when the phone was got. And then Morgan talks about getting a phone call from one of the people in Christine Wells' group.
And how did they get the phone?
Okay, so here we are. How did they get the phone
back?
So I got a call from a kid we went to high school with. He called me just asking me questions. He saw people posting on Snapchat, like the picture that was circulating.
Except this picture.
I got a phone call and he saw a picture that was circulating on Snapchat. You know, the Snapchat that they said that you couldn't circulate, you couldn't do Snapchat while you were on the island. You had to update it later. Now, how did this picture get circulated on Snapchat the night of the 4th of July? The same night, but Nolan couldn't do that.
Wasn't posted until July 5th.
He called me just asking me questions. He saw people posting on Snapchat, like the picture that was circulating.
Except this picture wasn't posted until July 5th. Well, how could this picture have been circulating on Snapchat that night? But let's continue.
And he called and he was asking questions. He was like, where's Nolan? When's the last time y'all seen him? And then he was like, so where are y'all at? And I told him, I said, we're at Jax's house. And then Warren got on the phone, and I don't know. So they come to my house.
And then Warren got on the phone, and I don't know. Warren, and let's play tag. And then I don't know. Your turn. I'm gonna let her finish out, and then I'll finish out my video. I'll let her finish out.
House, right? And they kind of
hold on before we get there. Was it confrontational or was it just just trying to find? It was confrontational already.
Wouldn't y'all agree? He was 110%. He was very confrontational.
And when did this was this on the night of the 4th or the next day?
This was the night when this was before they came and got the phone. So this is the night of the 4th. Yes.
You guys are missing a part of the story. How did you get from Ava's house to Jax's house? Because Miss Christine is watching you guys on the Life 360. So suddenly she's seeing the phone leave one location and go to another. Of course I would be upset. And now all of a sudden Warren is there when the phone stuff starts happening? He's listening to the phone call? Now I need y'all to remember that Warren also said that the phone was in his truck on the first conversation, as we have from this report. Meaning if we were to believe Warren that he was not there when everybody showed up looking for the phone at some time in between 11 and 1 a.m. So then that would mean after they heard this angry phone call, Warren gets the phone out of his vehicle and puts it in Jack's house and then leaves.
There's probably like 10, 15 people in my house I don't even know. And they're all up in our faces, going crazy, asking where Nolan is, and we don't know. And finally they get into Wyatt's face and they're like, where's your boat? Where's the boat at?
Demanding his address.
Demanding his address and stuff like that. And he finally ends up giving it to him. We give them the phone. They have the phone at this point. Then they get the address to his house. Then they go to his house.
So now look at Warren over there quiet. Now, they're upset. Why are they upset? Why would they be upset? You said they gave them the phone. Why? Well, you gave them the phone so quickly. So why do they want the boat and the address to his home? What are they looking for in the boat and the address to his home? And then when they get the address to his home, why did you call the police and say that there are people on the way to your home and your parents don't know, and you call the police? Now, furthermore, what I need to know about this 911 call to the police. Shouldn't there be some paperwork from the police about this 911 call, while the DA is giving the family 24 hours to turn over Nolan Wells' phone to the police department? Isn't there a police paperwork about this 911 call that was put out about somebody going to the judge's home, to Wyatt's home? Where's that paperwork where there was people stopped from going to Wyatt's home? Where's that paperwork? And where's that paperwork in the report that was filled out about these people who were stopped from going to that home? Shouldn't there be some paperwork since this was a 911 official report about people going to this home? And speaking of official police paperwork, shouldn't there also be some official police paperwork that was written up about what was that other official police paperwork that should have been written up about? What else? There was something else that they had a complaint about. These white folks had a complaint about. Where's all of these official complaints that these white people made a big brouhaha about? But they gave Christine the runaround about which jurisdiction was in charge of her missing son. Oh, this official, this official paperwork. Where is the official paperwork of these police officers that is on the official police scanners about the which police officer were on their way or had just left the judge's house on the night of Nolan Wells' disappearance? Where's that official police report? Because we do have. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get something to drink. Did you guys hear? Hold on. Hey, Jackson Street. We do have the police officers actually on the scanners on their way asking, have you just left or are you on your way to the judge's house? Where are those official police reports indicating why and what for what reasons were they on their way and what did they do when they went to the judge's house on the night of Nolan's disappearance? Huh? Where is the DA's and the sheriff's investigation into that? Huh? Huh? While they're giving Christine the runaround. Why isn't Auntie Nancy Grace asking about that? Huh? True. True. How come Auntie Nancy isn't asking about that? Since she wants to have so many questions about why Ben Crump didn't allow the dogs to go on boats, that he doesn't have the authority to allow dogs to go on boats for. While she is trying to insinuate that Ben Crump is not allowing uh Nolan's phone to be turned over to some crooked Mississippi investigation when Ben Crump has already had an agreement with the DA of how Nolan Wells' phone will be investigated and dismantled. And she's going along with this white nationalist narrative and trying to insinuate some nefarious carrying on about Ben Crump. You can't trust Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace, what the fuck are you doing out here? What the fuck is our national media doing out here? Now, what is her name? Terralon. She's I told you Terralon. I if I got her name wrong, she said while she works with Benjamin Crump. She's a black attorney. Uh, the raccoon did a interview and with I think he's a psychologist. And he asks, do you know this woman? I forget her name. Please excuse me. She's an attorney who works with Benjamin Crump. And he acted as if he didn't know her. And then he said, well, yes, you do know her because you've been on News Nation with her. And he said, oh, is she something something? And he said, oh no, I wouldn't do an interview with her because she is ghetto and she is rude. Now, I am so glad somebody it was the Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur came out with a video showing Brandon Tatum being rude, ghetto, and ignorant. He actually had the audacity to call this educated black woman rude, and she was an officer in the I believe in some branch of the military. And she was on Don Lemon, and she said we can go officer for officer because while he sits up and be a clown and do a minstrel show and try to dismantle blackness and black excellence and say all of these this degrading things about Benjamin Crump and spew all of these lies. I can refute him with the actual facts about Benjamin Crump. I have sat with this family. I have sat with this family, and I know Benjamin Crump's court cases. So while he says that Benjamin Crump only go after cases that is black against white, I can show him where he has black on black, white on white, all types of cases. And she said, I will sit down, and she said I will not go on his show. I will go on a neutral show. I will not be edited by him. I will not be edited by his producers or News Nation or anyone like that. I will be edited by a neutral platform. Now, Don Lemon offered to do it. Don Lemon has offered to do it. I'll just leave it at that. I think it'll be interesting. But one thing I will say, I am sick of these raccoons. I will say that. You better watch your please watch your fucking mouth in here talking about Don Lemon maybe be on to the next Griff. Okay. So yeah. So let's get back to it.
And they're searching all over his boat, what I heard and stuff like that. Well, anyways, I don't really know much about that, but
you're talking on it. You don't know about that, but you're talking on it.
They come back to my house at around 1 o'clock in the morning.
We called law enforcement. I was with Wyatt at the time. After we left Jax's house that night, I was with Wyatt, and one person we were with saw that their location was headed towards Wyatt's house. And so Wyatt got on the phone with
one of the persons that was with Wyatt. I saw that they were on their way to Wyatt's house. So you have given Nolan's phone back to them. And now, all of a sudden, you are able to track where they're going and what they're doing. How are you able to track where they are going and what they are doing? Are you tracking Nolan's phone? Is that what you're doing? Because you vaguely know these people, and now you can look and see where these people are going and what they're doing after you give them Nolan's phone. Did you catch that?
911 and was like, hey, these people are on the way to my house or already at my house. My mom and my dad are there.
These people didn't harm you. These people didn't do anything to you. So you didn't call 911 when these people came to your house and got the phone. But now you're calling 911 for what reason? God forbid they get to your house and see this boat. We got to prevent them from getting to this boat. What you calling 911 for? What you scared about?
Alone, and they know nothing about this. But Wyatt's mom actually, when they were looking at the boat, they were actually walking from the boat, and she came out and started talking to them.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Wyatt, Morgan, and Jax were all together. Warren was gone for some reason at this point. 10 to 15 people just barge into your house. Don't know why your grandparents weren't around. That might explain some things, huh? Guess y'all had the house all to your fucking self that weekend. But then they ask Wyatt for his address so that they can go look at the boat. Wyatt gives them the address. They start heading over there. Wyatt and Morgan get into a car and leave Jax's house. Somebody else that you were with that we aren't hearing about is tracking someone else's phone. I don't know if it was somebody who was with the group that they had access to, or if they were tracking Nolan's phone and they saw it was heading to Wyatt's house. And even though Wyatt gave them the address, and instead of calling his parents, he calls 911 and tells them, my parents don't know anything about that's going on. Can you send police over there? Now, mind you, it was about half an hour after being on the phone with Warren that Christine was able to actually call and report him missing. But she was having to go back and forth and go down to all these different agencies because nobody would fucking help her. And frankly, I want to know why all of this confrontation was left out of the fucking report. Like, if this family had to be removed from 2 different properties by the police, why is there no record of that? And in fact, it wasn't until after these confrontations that MDMR and Ocean Springs Police apparently had their little conversations about who was going to be taking over the case. Because remember, the Jackson County Sheriff Lieutenant told them that deputies had spoken with several friends that had traveled to the island on the vessel with Nolan, and that when they were left, he was in the company of an unknown female. So now, even though Warren had supposedly called the Coast Guard, all these family members are telling the police that the kid is missing. These are the people that last saw them. They're all like, we last saw him on the island. Still, the deputies said that they did not have reason to believe that there was any water-related exigencies or emergencies. Don't worry, y'all. I've got a lot fucking more to say about this stuff. So come back for part 2. I'm going to be immediately recording it because Warren fucked up pretty badly in this interview, and I'll show you why. Where we had left off, Warren had already called Miss Christine, and then they somehow ended up at Jax's grandparents' house. That's where they all stayed that weekend, and so that's why Nolan's keys were over there. They had to have been at the grandparents' house, who mysteriously never showed up during any of these confrontations. Somehow the phone had gone from the party that they were all at to Jax's place, and then Warren left after a phone call to Morgan. According to them, 10 to 15 people showed up and just walked into Jax's house and demanded the phone. Wyatt gave the address in which the boat was at. They all start migrating over there. Then Morgan and Wyatt and another friend are tracking their 360s and seeing that they're going over to Wyatt's house. Then they call 911 to tell them that the police are on the way to his house. Then they're searching the boat, and then they...
But But the raccoon wants you to believe that there's something wrong with Christine story about the 360s.
Come back to Jax's house around 1 o'clock in the morning, according to him. Mind you, that's when they explained to the police about their friend being missing. And so then the report says at 1:38 in the morning, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office say that they spoke to several of the friends that were on the vessel with Nolan, saying that he was in the company of an unknown female. But Morgan, Jax, and Warren all claimed that they did not travel to the island on the same boat as Nolan. So who did they talk to? Because it sounds to me like they had told the police that they were on the same boat as him. Keeping in mind that this is what Warren told Miss Christine.
Named Katie. And so then it turned into... Katie is also missing. No one can find her. And the explanation of no one knows this Katie, like we've never met her.
And Tristan said,
yet they were texting with Katie after they got home from the island, but they didn't even know who she was, but find out they were texting with Katie. Make that make sense, but none of them are arrested.
This
was talking with on my other buddy's phone, talking to Warren. He was dialing Coast Guard because he hung up the phone and was like, hey, this is them, bye, and hung up the phone. And that was the last time I talked to him.
Mind you, Tristan is friends with Katie. They are mutuals. I have confirmed this. So now that we've got that timeline fucking straight, let's back up to something that Warren said during this interview.
If you're motivated enough to do it, yeah. Like, I made a phone call to my mom, and I had to call her like 8 times before she picked up because
I made a phone call with my mom. I had if you're motivated enough to do it, you can do it. I made a phone call with my mom. I had to call her 8 times to do it because she was somewhere on the south side of the island. His mom was on the island, somewhere on the south side of the island. His mother, we don't know if it was his judge, stepmother, or his natural mother.
Either her service was bad because she was on the back side of the aisle on the south side, or my service was bad, and it was just hard to get through.
Do y'all see that? Let me play it again slower for you.
Either her service was bad because she was on the back side of the aisle on the south side, or my service was bad, and it was just hard to get through.
Oh no. Not only,
but they want you to believe that, oh no, why would you believe that anybody would have their phone on the island when it comes to Nolan? Well, it's so simple to believe that no one would have their phone on the island when it comes to Nolan.
Did Warren confirm that his mom was on the south side of the island? But Warren himself said that if you're motivated enough, you can call somebody. I tried calling my mom 8 times. Yet this is what he said last time.
A little off the island, you have cell coverage. And even on the island, like I called my mom when we were on the island, it was fine.
So which is it? Did you call your mom with ease, or did you try to call her 8 times because you were motivated to get in touch with her? But Warren wasn't the only one to slip up, because listen.
And he's on the phone with Cito, and he's trying to get them on the phone. And as he stated in the moment, he's like, Cito's just asking all these dumb questions. I can't figure out what's going on. And so finally hangs up. And after the trim to the motor started to work again. So they manually trim it down by the buttons on the motor, trimmed it down, and some electronics started to come back on. And they got the boat to crank over, and they're like, all right, unties.
So first off, Jax just proved that the boys put the phone on mute during the call with Cito, because I've listened to the entire 8-minute call, and at no point did they ever say anything about them asking all these stupid questions. Then he said after they hung up on the Cito, that's when it started working again. And they said, okay, untie us, implying that it had been tied up to the other boat the entire time. But we see in this video that they are hauling the line back in right here as he's on the phone. See, you can see right here where the line is being pulled in from across the way where the boat is stationed. Meaning he had already hung up with Cito at that point, and he had to have been on the phone with someone else. And what we see here is, once again, we have an interview where they go into so much detail about stuff that doesn't fucking matter.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and first off explain a boat.
We fucking get how a bilge pump works. We get it by now. Fucking talking about the bilge pump. What we actually want to hear about is the multiple stops that were made before ending up back at the grandparents' house before they even took the boat to the boat dock. We want you guys to explain how the sea tow was canceled by the grandfather on the captain's private line before you guys had even hung up with sea tow. That's why nobody believes a fucking word that you are saying. Because I showed y'all yesterday how AI had clearly doctored these photos. If you missed it, look, silver pole. Look, no silver pole. It's actually white. And if you look at this picture in the grandparents' driveway of the Triton, you will see that the little handrails are not leaning over. You will see that the rails are going straight up and down and not leaning, which is why I also suspect that the identity of whoever this is was intentionally covered up. Because first off, who wears this weird swimsuit thing? This is somebody who, if they were with them, would have stood out in a crowd. But this woman who's in a red striped swimsuit with a white baseball cap shows up in a lot of different pictures, just oh so obscured. Here she is again, handing out beers on Bart's boat. So I personally suspect that whoever that was in fact on the Triton, and they used AI to change her clothing and to obscure her identity. Because I think this was either Warren's mother or Wyatt's stepmother, which would explain the older female voice people have said they've heard on the Ceto. Because otherwise, why would he need to call his mother 8 times? Unless, according to his own words,
If you're motivated enough to do it, yeah.
because remember, there is a 4th boat out there. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, that's enough of that. That link is in my description box as well. Let me go back to the last link that I was sharing with you. That link is in my description box. That is the third link in my description box. Let me go back to the liars that were giving this story, and why was he talking about when the people came over to get the keys, that he was so upset, and he was in his room huddled up in a ball for hours? Really, bitch? Is that what you were doing? You were huddled up in a ball for hours for what? And you could not enunciate anything that made you do that, Mr.
And he was asking questions. He was like, "Where's Nolan? When's the last time y'all seen him?"
So this is the violent encounter of the people who allegedly barged into their house, and this is what happened. These non-white people. Now here's the encounter.
And then he was like, "So where are y'all at?" And I told him, I said, "We're at Jax's house." And then Warren got on the phone, and I don't know.
So they come
What
to my
happened,
house,
Warren?
right? And they kind of hold on before we get there. Was it confrontational, or was it just just trying to find? It was confrontational already.
Wouldn't y'all agree?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. Let's hear the confrontation.
So he was
110%. He was very
confrontational.
And when did this happen?
100% confrontational. Let's hear the confrontation, because these were black people. It was 100% confrontational.
Was this on the night of the 4th or the next day?
This was the night when they.
And who brings up? Was it confrontational? The raccoon, who wants you to understand that Javion is not. He is mixed race, but he's not white.
This was before they came and got the phone.
So this is the night of the 4th, yes.
So you had already spoke to Christine.
Correct.
Yes. And then you get a call that was hostile.
Yeah, and then Morgan handed the phone over to me. I was like, "Oh, let me talk to him," because I knew the guy, and I was just like, "Hey, like," he was like, "Where y'all at? Where y'all at?" I was like, "We're at Jackson's house." You know, it's like calm down. And then he hung up on me, and then
okay, so they come, they pull up to my house, and at this point, I'm kind of freaking out. We're all trying.
But are you gonna say when you left? The premise of the story, Warren, is that you weren't there. When did you leave, Warren? Are we going to hear when Warren leave? Because that was the whole catalyst of the story, is that you weren't there, Warren. When did you sneak off, Warren? I bet we never get to that part.
Trying to put our heads together on where Nolan is. And I kind of, they pull up to my house. And at this point, I'm kind of freaking out. We're all trying to put our heads together on where Nolan is.
Why would you be freaking out? What about them pulling up to your house would have you freaking out?
And I kind of like isolate myself in my room, just kind of get in a ball and just lose it kind of basically for a few hours. And
so they come to your house. You kind of go up to your room and isolate and freak out for a few hours. Because they come to your home looking for Nolan, and you kind of freak out and lose it and isolate yourself and go to your room and lose it for a few hours. But you insist on telling the story of what happened, and you insist on telling us that the people who came to your house were you want us to believe that they were violent, and you had isolated yourself in your own room for a few hours. Bitch, what? Bitch, what? You sound like a whole nutcase, but you want us to believe that you was sitting in your room for a whole few hours, and you're going to tell us the story of people who came to your house.
They just walk into my house
on me, and then
okay, so they pull up to my house, and at this point I'm kind of freaking out. We're all trying to put our heads together on where Nolan is, and I kind of like,
well, if you don't know where he is, why would you be trying to put your heads together on where Nolan is? What are you trying to make up a story to tell where you're going to say where he is? Why would you do that? If you don't know where he is, how are you trying to put your heads together on where Nolan is? You don't know where he is. What you mean you trying to put your heads together on where he is? If you don't know where he is. You're trying to put together your heads together on a lie of where you're going to say he is? Is that what you mean? Is that what you're saying? We're trying to put our heads together on where we're going to say he is? And then you bug out because you're a bitch? Is that what you're saying?
like isolate myself in my room, just kind of get in a ball and just lose it kind of basically for a few hours. And they just,
but you still want to talk about what they doing. You bug out and isolate in your room for a couple of hours, but they what? But they what? But you still want to talk about what they doing, and you are in your room isolating like a weak ass hoe. But you still want to talk about what black people are doing. Let's continue.
just walk into my house, you know, and I hear all this commotion going on in my living room, and I'm just like, what in the world is going on? So I walk out there. There's probably like 10, 15 people in my house I don't even know. And they're all up in our faces, going crazy, asking where Nolan is, and we don't know. And finally they get into Wyatt's face, and they're like, where's your boat? Where's the boat at?
Demanding his address.
Demanding his address and stuff like that. And he finally ends up giving it to him. And then at that, let me go ahead and state though, while they're there, we give them the phone. They have the phone at this point. Then they get the address to his house. Then they go to his house. And they're searching all over his boat, what I heard and stuff like that. Well, anyways, I don't really know much about that, but they come back to my house at around 1 o'clock in the morning. And It's his dad this time. And his dad's being really respectable, really, really nice to me and stuff like that. And as long as another friend of theirs, and he's asking me like, where are the keys at? I don't even know where Nolan's keys are at in my house. You know how hard it is to find a set of keys in a house and you don't even know where to start? It's pretty hard. So I start scrambling around my house looking. There's stuff everywhere. Keep in mind, all these people stayed the night at my house before. I'm looking through everything. I can't find the keys. I run back to his father or stepfather. And I was like, I don't know where the keys are. And the guy standing next to him's texting somebody. I guess I was at my house. And they said, he said that they're on the Xbox. So I run in, I see him on the Xbox, grab him off the Xbox, and I go and hand it to him. It's plain and simple. Didn't even take 30 seconds.
No trouble.
No trouble at all. So.
Warren, when did you leave? You had this whole elaborate story about you being there and seeing all of this. Did you hear Warren say when he left? No, nothing. They just whitewash Warren out of the whole story. But you never heard when Warren left. Notice that?
So this narrative that they're pushing that there was any argument over the phone or the keys is completely false. Like, let's get...
How do you know, Warren? You weren't there. How do you know, Warren? You were the one who whitewashed the whole story about the argument over the phone in your first telling of the story. So now you want us to believe that they are the one who were whitewashing a story about the argument over the phone when you were the one who said that you were there and you were talking to someone about and you think that he was over there at someone's house on a couch, probably sleeping it off and all of this type of shit, and you want to talk to us about what somebody was whitewashing about what went on when they came over to get the phone, and now you are talking about you weren't there and you want us to believe what they were whitewashing, and you're sitting up here in this telling of the story saying that you weren't there, and you still have the fucking audacity to try to say that the black people who were there, who are not trying to absolve themselves from not being there at all, you still are trying to say that the people who are giving their account and are saying that they were there when this happened, you still are trying to call them liars as you told your story and now are trying to say you weren't there. You still trying to call them liars, you dumb motherfucker. The whole motherfucking audacity. You're trying to say you weren't there and still trying to say the people who were there are lying. The audacity. These people are trash.
That clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they just kind of hang around my house, taking pictures of all the cars' license plate in the driveway, stuff like that. And so
when you say they, how many people are here this time?
Like 15.
15 people that you don't know.
They had 4 or 5 vehicles.
I mean, I knew some of them I went to high school with, and then some of them I just didn't know.
Now, walk me through this. How do you think it got to this point so fast? That's one thing that I'm curious about. Like you
jumping to conclusion.
I guess so. I mean,
that's plain and simple.
They went and searched Wyatt's boat.
Yeah, they went and searched Wyatt's boat.
Like
we're
hiding Nolan in his boat or something. Like what is wrong with him? Like
100%.
We called law enforcement. I was with Wyatt at the time after we left Jax's house that night. I was with Wyatt, and we one person we were with saw that their location was headed towards Wyatt's house.
One person we were with. Who is this one person we were with? One person we were with. I'm hiding the name of the one person we were with. Actually saw that they were on their way to Wyatt's house. How did they see that they were on their way to Wyatt's house? Were they tracking Nolan's phone? How did they see that? That they were on their way to Wyatt's house? These people are trash. The link is in my description box. Pay attention to what is being said. No one is talking about the violence of these kids. No one's talking about the fights and the violence of these kids. Nobody's calling the violence of all of these rich white hoodlums that were out there being whole white hoodlums. So that's all I have to say about that. Whole hoodlums. Oh, let's get to the narratives that they are trying to put out. I think about the phone. We're gonna shut this phone situation down. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna close this story with this. I mean, you can go on and on. I'm pretty sure tomorrow it will be a whole another thing. But the simple fact that the DA is trying to give a 48-hour timeline to pretend as if there has not been an agreement reached where they would go over Nolan Wells' phone, and then they did not do anything to set up an appointment or an agreed time to go over this phone, or to say that they needed this phone and they could not accommodate a schedule to go over the phone, and just blatantly gave a 48-hour notice. It's just a bullshit. It's total bullshit. And to try to make it appear as if the mother is not being cooperative in getting, who would give this investigative body just turn over his phone when they have not even turned over his body parts to finish the independent autopsy, when they are still withholding his throat so they can finish up his independent autopsy? Are they serious? Do they think somebody is going to take the Mississippi authorities seriously? Get the fuck out of my face. This is what I will end with this. These people are laughable.
Once during the official distress call. Why would you omit that detail? Why would you tell the line is being hauled in during the call, not after it. The boat is physically connected to another vessel, while the Coast Guard is on the line. They weren't alone. They weren't isolated. They were tethered to a second boat, and they didn't mention it once during the official distress call. Why would you omit that detail? Why would you tell the Coast Guard you're sinking, alone, 10 miles offshore, when you're actually tied to another boat with other people on it? Because the other boat complicates the story. 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 It's the story. Because the other boat complicates the story. It's the story. Questions about why two boats were tied together in open water. Questions about whether Nolan Wells was on the Triton or on the other vessel. And those are questions Warren, Morgan, Jax, and Wyatt weren't prepared to answer. So they hung up. They waited for the electronics to come back on. They untied from the second boat. And then they called again,
Sally.
this time through proper channels, with a cleaner story. That's not a mechanical failure. That's a narrative reset. And let's talk about what that narrative reset accomplished. By hanging up on the first call and waiting to make a second one, they created a gap in the official record. A gap where the boat could be untied, where the passengers could be redistributed, where the story could be aligned. The Coast Guard's revised statement says they received a call at 12:30 a.m., but the first call, the one Warren made at 11 p.m. to his friend, never entered the official system. It existed in the space between panic and procedure, and in that space, the truth got edited. Think about what that means for the investigation. The official timeline starts at 12:30 a.m. Everything before that is undocumented, unverified, controlled by the boys and whoever else was on the water. For 90 minutes, the only record of what happened is the record they chose to create, and when you control the record, you control the outcome. Now let's talk about the phone, because while the Coast Guard timeline was being massaged, Nolan's phone was on a journey of its own, and the people tracking it saw something that should have triggered an immediate missing person report. According to the interview, the group was at Ava's house for a fourth.
Who was raising $950,000? And who was paying you to think? Please, please drop your facts in the chat. And please tell me who is paying you to think. We don't deal with bullshit. We deal with facts over here. Drop your facts, you stupid bitch. We'll wait.
Of July party, when they realized Nolan was missing. Warren calls Christine at 11 p.m. She checks Life 360. The app shows Nolan's phone on land, not on Horn Island, not in the water, on land, somewhere near Ocean Springs. But here's what the TikTok investigator caught that changes everything. Morgan, during the interview, describes getting a phone call from a mutual friend that night. This friend saw a picture circulating on Snapchat and called to ask where Nolan was. The picture wasn't posted until July 5th, but Morgan says it was circulating on Snapchat the night of the 4th. How does a picture circulate before it's posted? It doesn't, unless Morgan is conflating timelines. Unless he's compressing events that happened on different days into a single night to make the story flow better, or unless the picture existed before it was publicly posted, which means someone had it, someone was sharing it privately, someone was using it to ask questions about Nolan's whereabouts before the public even knew he was missing. And that someone was tracking the phone. Because here's the sequence the TikTok investigator reconstructed from the Life 360 data and the witness statements. Nolan's phone starts at Ava's house. Then it moves to Jackson's grandparents' house. Then it moves again, toward Wyatt's boat dock. Then it comes back to Jackson's house around 1 a.m. Warren claims he wasn't at Jackson's house when the phone was retrieved. He says this explicitly. He says he was gone. But the Life 360 data shows the phone moving after his 11 p.m. call to Christine. If Warren wasn't there, who moved it? And why did it move at all? The answer comes from Morgan and Wyatt's own testimony. They describe a group of 10 to 15 people showing up at Jackson's house, demanding the phone, getting confrontational. These weren't random strangers. These were Christine Wells's people, family members, friends, people who had been tracking the phone and saw it leave one location and appear in another. She's upset because the phone is moving without explanation, because the boys told her Nolan was with an unknown female on the island, but the phone is clearly on the mainland. because every minute the phone moves without Nolan, the story becomes less believable. And then Wyatt does something that should be in every police report about this case. He calls 911, not because Nolan is missing, not because he's worried about his friend, because the group tracking the phone is heading to his house, and his parents are there alone. He's calling the police to intercept a search party. He's not calling to report a missing person. He's calling to protect his property. And that tells you everything about the priority order in that house on the night of July 4th. Protect the boat, protect the house, protect the story. Nolan can wait. And here's the detail that makes this even worse. The sheriff's deputies arrived at Wyatt's house. They searched the boat, they spoke to the family, and then they left. No arrest, no detention, no formal missing person report filed at that moment. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office later claimed they spoke to several friends who said Nolan was with an unknown female on the island. But Morgan, Jax, and Warren all claimed they weren't on the same boat as Nolan. So who did the deputies talk to? Who told them Nolan was with a girl? Because it wasn't the three boys who are now sitting in front of cameras with a lawyer. It was someone else, someone who was there that night, someone who gave the police a version of events that matched the cover story, not the truth. And that someone might have been on the fourth boat. Think about that. The police arrived at Wyatt's house, searched the boat, spoke to witnesses, and left with a story that doesn't match what the main suspects are now saying. Either the deputies spoke to people who lied to them, or the main suspects are lying now. One of those groups is not telling the truth. And given what we know about the phone's journey, the Coast Guard gap, and the 8 calls, I have a theory about which group that is. The group that controls...
I don't think none of them's telling the truth. So, there's that for me. Now, let's recap and review. There are a lot of videos out here. Where did RonyiQ? Where did I first? Where did I first? Where did I first find this? Where did I first find this? That's the sauce. I'm gonna put
Hey yo, thanks for tuning into the sauce.
Where I first found this. I am not like other content creators. This is where I first found this information. Let's give it out for the sauce. This will be in my description box as well. Let's put it all together.
Ms. Wells said online, and I've seen it on the news and everything. I want to get to the
quote friends may have done one interview too many.
I want to get to the phone situation of Miss Christine, or Miss Wells said online, and I've seen it on the news and everything, as if she had to come and hunt you down to get this phone. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house, and so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. And so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. And so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. Well, what happened with the cell phone thing? So let's go back to the first engagement you had when it comes to the family or somebody coming back to get the cell phone and keys. When did that occur, and what happened there?
Okay, well, that night, about 12:30, I went back to my buddy's house.
And you said the night of the 4th?
The night of the 4th, but it was about 12:30, I would like to say. And so I went back to my buddy's house that I stayed the night before, where we all met up, and stayed together the night before. And my buddy got a call from this guy, and the guy was like, oh, what's going on with all this Nolan stuff? Very aggravated. I mean, yeah, every right to be, but I mean, we were trying to calm him down, and he was just like, oh, where y'all at? my buddy said, we're at my buddy's house, and he said, all right, and then he just hung up. And so about 30 minutes later, I'd like to say, all of a sudden the door just got open and slammed, and there was a girl who walked in, and like probably about 8 or 9 guys behind her, and then another mom, which was Javon's mom. And
who is Javon? I want to put that in perspective. Who is Javon?
Javon is one of Nolan's good friends. He's a friend of mine too. Great guy,
white?
and his
white?
mom and their family is very close with the Wells family. And so I don't know why she was there, like what was going on, but I was very surprised about this. I was like, you just basically like kick the door open and bust up in the house, no knock or anything.
So is Javon black or white?
Javon's mixed. I mean,
she ain't white then.
Yeah, I guess he's mixed.
Yeah.
But he's not white.
No, he's not white.
Just white. Or all white, I guess.
Yeah.
So then they come in the house. Do you know any of these people? You said the mom, but do you know anybody else?
I've seen the mom before, and I know most of them. Most of the guys went to high school with me, and like I'm friends with some of the guys. I mean, I know some of them. So eventually, like things started to get heated, and I was just like a guy I was friends with in high school. He was like, "Man, come outside with me," and I was like, "All right." And I walked outside with him. He was like, "Man, I don't know why. Like they're panicking, and this is just like I think Nolan's just on somebody's couch. He's been drinking all day. He's just messed up, and this is nothing that we have to worry about." As much as I sat there and I told him, I was like, I agree. I would think he's on somebody's couch, just had been drinking all day and just drank too much and was super intoxicated. And that's kind of what a lot of us thought, but they were kind of losing it and they were going crazy. And the mom that was with them demanded Nolan's phone, because Nolan left the phone on the boat. And when we ran in, Nolan didn't ask for his phone, and his keys were not on the boat because his car was parked at my buddy's house where we had all slept, the night before the 4th. And
no example.
So the keys were left at the house because Nolan's car was at my buddy's house where we stayed at. So of course he left his keys there.
Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. Now I know, Warren.
All of these examples of they going crazy and they was all out of hand. No examples of any craziness that they did. Oh, but he wasn't there. Oh.
Warren, you weren't at the house. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. And so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Can somebody please tell Warren that it's very hard to walk outside with somebody and have a whole conversation with them about the phone and then walk back in and sit down and have more of a conversation if you were not at the house? And the craziest part is that y'all think that we're so unintelligent that we wouldn't pick up on the fact that you went into full detail about the conversation that you had with one of the people who came to the house with Javon's mother before you got up and walked outside with a person and then turned around and came back in and sat down and continued the conversation. And I got to tell you, it's kind of hard to walk somebody outside, have a conversation with them, come back in, sit down, and continue the conversation if you're not there. Listen, do me a favor. Copy this, paste it, share it, put it on TikTok, put it on Instagram. Use it however you want, because this dude right here just got caught out there. Let me tell you something. This video right here may be one of the most important videos that I've ever made on YouTube. So get this out there. Get the information out there. Spread it around so that everybody knows that these kids are telling stories. And as a matter of fact, before I end this video, I'm going to run it back and play it one more time.
I want to get to the phone situation of Miss Christine.
And let's be real clear. That this raccoon Tatum is well aware of what he is doing, and he is complicit in helping them share these lies and cover up these lies. And in doing so, he is trying to smear this mother's name in creating these lies and adding Christine Wansley's name into these lies to wipe these liars' names clean and dirty up the name of Christine Wansley. You notice he has to add the mother's name into the lies to absolve these wretched liars. Let's be real clear.
Or Miss Wells said online, and I've seen it on the news and everything.
And she's not Miss Wells, she's Miss Wansley.
As if she had to come and hunt of
stories. And as a matter of fact, before I end this video, I'm gonna run it back and play it one more time.
I want to get to the phone situation of Miss Christine or Miss Wells said online, and I've seen it on the news and everything, as if she had to come and hunt you down to get this phone. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. And so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. And so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. And so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. Well, what happened with the cell phone thing? So let's go back to the first engagement you had when it comes to the family or somebody coming back to get the cell phone and keys. When did that occur, and what happened there?
Okay, well, that night, about 12:30, I went back to my buddy's house.
And you said the night of the 4th?
The night of the 4th, but it was about 12:30, I would like to say. And so I went back to my buddy's house. I stayed the night before, where we all met up, and stayed together the night before. And my buddy got a call from this guy, and the guy was like, oh, what's going on with all this Nolan stuff? Very aggravated. I mean, yeah, every right to be, but I mean, we were trying to calm him down, and he was just like, oh, where y'all at? My buddy said, we're at my buddy's house, and he said, all right, and then he just hung up. And so about 30 minutes later, I'd like to say, all of a sudden the door just got open and slammed, and there was a girl who walked in, and probably about 8 or 9 guys behind her, and then another mom, which was Javon's mom. And
who's Javon? I want to put that in perspective. Who is Javon?
Javon is one of Nolan's good friends. He's a friend of mine too. Great guy, and his mom and their family is very close.
Let's see who is the race baiter. Let's be clear. Who is the race baiter? None other than a race baiting Tatum.
The Wells family, and I mean, so I don't know why she was there, what was going on, but I was very surprised about this. I was like, you just basically kicked the door open, and, busted up in the house, no knock or anything.
So is Javon black or white?
Javon's mixed. I mean,
how does that fit into the story? Why would that matter? Because race baiting Tatum is a race baiter. That's why.
I don't.
Yeah, I guess he's mixed.
Yeah.
So, but he's not white.
No, he's not white.
Just white.
Yeah.
Or all white, I guess you might call it.
Yeah.
So then they come in the house. Do you know any of these people? And you said the mom, but do you know anybody else?
I've seen the mom before, and I know most of them. Most of the guys went to high school with me, and I'm friends with some of the guys. I mean, I know some of them. So eventually, things started to get heated, and I was just a guy I was friends with in high school. He was like, "Man, come outside with me," and I was like, "All right." And I walked outside with him. He was like, "Man, I don't know why." They were panicking, and this is just I think Nolan's just on somebody's couch. He's been drinking all day. He's just messed up, and this is nothing that we have to worry about. As much as, I sat there and I told him, I was like, I agree. I would think, he's on somebody's couch, just had been drinking all day and just, drank too much and was super intoxicated. And, that's kind of what a lot of us thought, but they were kind of losing it and they were going crazy. And the mom that was with them demanded Nolan's phone, because Nolan left the phone on the boat. And when we ran in, Nolan didn't ask for his phone, and his keys were not on the boat because his car was parked at my buddy's house where we had all slept, the night before the 4th. And so the keys were left at the house because Nolan's car was at my buddy's house where we stayed at. So of course he left his keys there.
Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house.
You know what? I just realized. You notice how they said Warren's car was at my buddy's house? Now, this last interview, they said that we always had to pick up Warren. We always picked up Warren. We always picked up Warren. You would have thought Warren did not even have a car. We always picked up Warren for school. We always picked up Warren. We always used to pick up Warren. Warren used to always ride with us. We used to always pick up Warren. When a Warren car was over at our buddy's house, they acted as if Warren was a special needs person that didn't even have his own car. You notice how they talked about Warren like he always needed a ride, that they always had to pick up Warren?
Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house, and so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. Gotcha.
Not Warren. I mean Nolan. We always picked up Nolan. Not Warren. Nolan. We always picked up Nolan. We always used to go pick up Nolan. We always picked him up for school. We always picked up Nolan. Nolan. We always gave Nolan a ride, like as if Nolan didn't have his own car. This has been the ongoing story about Nolan. We always gave Nolan a ride. We always picked up Nolan. We always gave Nolan rides. We always gave Nolan. We picked up Nolan. We gave Nolan rides to school. We gave Nolan rides. Do you realize how much they acted as if they were the only proprietor of rides that gave Nolan rides to get him around the fucked up state of Mississippi? The link is in my description box. I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day. I will be back maybe tomorrow with the fucked up Donald Trump news, as it were, who has shut down the whole civil rights division because the Congressional Black Caucus has written a letter requesting that the DOJ open up an investigation into this Nolan Wales case. So therefore, your white nationalist president has totally shut down the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice, so that there will not be an investigation into this Nolan Wales case. But look who we have over the Department of Justice and the FBI. So what type of investigation would you expect in any case? Because all of the qualified DOJ attorneys had already quit the Department of Justice, and they are stacked with underwhelming attorneys who are underwhelming, in my opinion. So yeah, you know, just hang on, people. Hang on, people. Get out and vote. Um, you know, this is why it is important that you vote. This is why it is important that you pay attention to what is going on to in your state elections, in your local elections. This is why you really pay attention. I found it really interesting that at the time when your civil rights are under attack, when the state that has the most lynchings in the United States, that your president is bold enough to withdraw civil rights from the Department of Justice. Uh, the most talked about thing in a sector of YouTube, a place where we can get alternative news because your president has given mass media and the FCC, the oligarchs in this country. The FCC has been allowed to take over a large swath of the media to oligarchs in these big media conglomerates and takeovers and all of this type of thing. Uh, the alternative of media and attention has been given to people who are paying attention to process in a lab grown meat competitions, and thinking that it would be interesting from a person who is from a failed country like Haiti to put together a lunchable, a processed meat, a lab grown meat competition of how you, who unbeknownst to yourself, who are facing a potential food famine in the United States, who are eating a large swath of processed meat uh, and of, of a large swath of imitation and of uh, imitation meat and processed meat and lab grown food. I find it amazing that this is what people think that is entertainment, uh, uh, without being aware that this is your actual life. As the United States is about to face a real live famine, and as your actual grocery shelves is stocked full of lab grown food. But hey, you know, if you like it, I love it. Okay. I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day, and stay greasy. All right. Um, I'll see you, if not tomorrow, I'll see you on Wednesday. Have a great day. All right. Bye bye.